Hello, everyone. The title of today's talk is to teach experientially while walking on frozen grass. And what that means is that right now I'm walking on a field of grass with a very small amount of snow. And you wonder what the teachings of experience are. You wonder about this, the teachings of experience. And you look at your experience first because you don't have another person's experience. For example, when I'm speaking from my unique set of origination and all the places I have walked. Where you're listening is also from your unique origination of where you have walked in this physical reality. And there's of course more to it, but we can acknowledge that to continue, so for now. Now, what you immediately find is that when you become self-aware, you are here. You at first have an idea of what here and now means, but you are not going to word first. You're not going to terminology first for reassurance. You're actually putting away the terminology to reassure yourself that you're here by yourself. So for example, right now that you're hearing my voice, just for a second, for a moment, for a very able and peaceful moment, just feel yourself being alive. Now, this range of sensitivity is what is healthy for the human being. This awareness to the life that is here. Because if your attention goes somewhere else, your mind has the ability to create a sense of presence in other localities. What that means is that in your car, when you're driving, you can see much further ahead and then stop. So, similarly, man's vision gives him the ability to perceive different potentials of reality. So you're immediately confronted by a series of realities in which possibilities of existence are present. Now, before this whole story of reality, before me getting into the study of reality and observance of it, I want to tell you, you need to acknowledge your silence before. And what that means is you might think that you can just sit down and begin, meditating. And it's true, you can. I am not saying there are any wrongs, but I'm just saying that the proper, in my understanding, in my experience, the most efficient way is that before you meditate, you look at the reality of life. Before you sit down, you actually look at life. See how that tree is real. See if my voice is here. See if you are here. And yes, you are in very profound ways. But these profound ways are up to you to uncover. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's a very beautiful concept that just smiled at me when I saw it. And the concept was of a treasure revealer, of a being able to not bring physical treasure, but to bring great understandings of life through his eyes. And also, both from the external world and the internal world. See, our external world is being organized. We were just chaotic movement, and now we are self-aware chaotic movement that is imposing a sense of elusive order on itself. But again, it's all ordered as well, So, there's a sense of confronting life that will create a seriousness for your excitement. You see, you're not serious about your excitement if you have not acted. If you have a dream and you're like, I'm not there, if I look at you and you have a dream to get somewhere and you're not moving like that every moment, it is not that real for you, your dream. the idea of your dream is more real than the actuality of your dream. Recognize the actuality of your dream. Realize it's not about thinking of the great things you should do. It is about such an immediate confrontation of self that you are grounded in the knowing that is beautifully the happiest silent walk that man can ever have. I remember walking into a cemetery, and this is a story that just very interesting thing that happened to me. I walked into a cemetery in the day, and I was just walking, and there was no one there. And I'm walking there, and I'm taking steps, and I'm seeing every tombstone and its design, and how the person was. Are there flowers in the grave? Are there not? Do you know? And you see that our way of remembering those who have fallen is by creating tombs for them, rather than seeing them in the stars. In every moment of existence that they walk to show us that they're always walking, and so are we. Your communication gives you ability once you become self-aware. And you might ask, how may I become self-aware? It begins with looking at the mirror and looking at the mirror, and you've looked at the mirror so long that you see, wait a minute, I have feet. And so you move away from all that you know to discover your own greater knowing, not the knowing of me or anyone else, your own greater knowing, you know. And again, it is very peaceful and natural once you see yourself. Trust me. I thought, I like many people thought I was losing it. I thought there was no hope because there was no place to move. You know? Human beings are funny creatures, are funny beings. Because it's as if they blindfold themselves and start running and they forget. After they forget, they simply see that the path to remembering who they really are is through self-remembrance, self-awareness, and that. So in other words, I don't really want to give you ideology. I just want to say that the ladder that you've climbed down into your illusion can simply be climbed back up by looking at what created the illusion. Don't be one person that's saying, oh, this is the illusion, I accept it, I know it, and just sit down. You know, it's, in a sense, in a heartfelt way, put yourself in the eyes of the greatest explorer, always. Because when you have the wind of exploration, there is no fear. If you want to know more, it cannot. Fear is just helping you know more. Do you know? It cannot. So you see that our wisdom is simply the flow of forms and the observance of all objects of observance during a progression, which is experienced in the moment. And you can see that once you're able, the right and wrong of the thing you're doing kind of goes away, and you just become playful into evolving it, you know. So I see that certain trainings for the mind that are just very natural is to actually observe nature so clearly that your ways of thought are understanding it. What that means is that, unfortunately, nature doesn't have a voice just like how someone else talks on YouTube or something, do you know? But you are a self-aware being who can be aware of nature. And think of trees, plants, everything in life as for this context at least, a friend. And so this friend is not talking to you, but you can go talk to him. Do you see? What that means is that man must take his own initiative to understanding his own nature through the beauty of nature. We want to constantly overwhelm ourselves with our own ability every day. And what that means is that after this, you begin seeing that, okay, I don't have to follow a certain routine. I can have the ability to be present in the moment in a way where all manifestation is being observed into creation and co-creation. And so you will begin to feel that you've walked so long that you're no longer bothered by the frozen grass, by the frozen ideas and things that are pointing to an impossibility, when your possibility never needed to be that limited in experience. Limitless possibility means we don't have time to even talk about it. Boom! We are exploring galaxies in a heartbeat. And so it's very important that you recognize yourself, that every moment of your existence you are teaching everything that is observing you. The whole cosmos is watching every moment. So with that, recognize that to teach experientially means to not think, but to actually go and observe your own greater vision to a degree where the knowing is simply there. As if you know, for example, what time your flight is in the airport, so you're comfortably walking to get a glass of, whatever you drink. So we will gain an ability of understanding by not limiting understanding to certain thought constructs. What that means is that we have somehow been conditioned to think that the greatest level of an educated mind, an able mind, is one that is able to memorize many things, know many things, has read many things, has done so many things. No, that is one method, one way of seeing it actually. I don't want to say no, but you will see that there's another way which I have recognized, in which it is a lighter way. In other words, that academic who felt that he was the king of academia began to see that yes, academia has its place and it's needed for a certain amount of your life. But by being in the moment, you travel light, because you are not bothered by form, because you are present now. And so omniscience is always a greater intelligence than one individuation that thinks it's higher than another individuation. The collective smiles when every individual sees itself. And so your walks will be natural. And let me tell you, I have found that it is a very awesome thing to walk and talk, because it's keeping your system active, and at the same time it's a proper state of being. It is as if Buddha had this quote that he said, walk in a way, and this is my interpretation of this quote, and he said, walk in a way as if you're holding a flower, and when you're holding a flower, you're not agitated. Your state of mind is subtle. And that is why he was always smiling. Because that state of being is so subtle, but it is aware that it can jump into chaos any moment. And so that sense of self-awareness, even though Buddha was seen to be a very graceful and very calm being, in his mind he was that martial arts master who was born to be the hand that broke some hands, And not in that way, I mean it in a mental way, as in thoughts. So he knew how to work with the flow of what was coming to him in the moment, and to simply keep himself in the moment. And that meant this being had such an acceptance and allowance of life that his teachings were not teachings, but a glance of the cosmos at itself in a silent and still moment of existence. And so when your attention and awareness goes to existence, when you begin to see, wow, it is so much more engaging and enlightening and insightful to actually go experience something than to look at it from a distance, you realize there's a value in this physicality. Do not lose value of your physicality. See every moment of you being alive as a gift of expression. Because once you're unwrapped, once the mirror is polished, the light in your eyes could never fade. And so experiential teachers are smiling in absolute absorption and integration with their moment of existence and environment. Walk as if not you're the happiest man alive. Walk as if not you're even an idea. Walk as the presence of the infinity of existence, of life, of the knowing that you are beyond your knowing. And so you see that judgment never needed to be so loud, when you could turn down the volume instantly and simply walk the most beautiful walk. I feel people, the way their lives are designed, let's say it like this. I want to playfully talk about it in the way that, let us say that we observe human life from eyes from above, you know, and we see that it's as if, okay, let's just say we were just let's say we were observing human life from the sky, and we just saw that humanity, it was as if human beings were born, then they got extreme dedication and engagement with their environment, and then they expressed themselves. So if you were to look at us like how we look at ants, you know, so what I mean by that is, imagine you observing people that you just see their whole life as if, let's say. The more involved you are with life, the more expression you can be aware of, to know, and in a sense to not have, but to engage with. Do not stick to the concept of having too long. We are temporal beings, but very comfortable in a self-awareness that is omniscient beyond doubt. So recognize your elegance and stature of being who you are. And then from there, roar. Existential teachings by being. Let the teacher dissolve into the teaching. And remember, in the end of ends, there's always a beginning. Much blessings and namaste.